the happiest nations where men are allowed to marry multiple wives. Polygamy, where a man can marry multiple women, is not just a cultural phenomenon but also deeply intertwined with the history, laws, and religious beliefs of various nations worldwide. While polygamy is less common today due to advancements in gender equality and modern legal systems, it remains part of the tradition in certain countries, especially those where cultural, religious, and economic factors strongly influence society. The reasons for accepting or practicing polygamy are diverse. In many communities, it serves as a solution to social issues such as gender imbalances or demographic growth. In some regions, it carries symbolic meaning, reflecting a man's power and wealth within society. However, not all countries approach this practice similarly. Some have implemented strict regulations to ensure that practicing polygamy does not violate the fundamental rights of women and children. The existence of polygamy also reflects the diversity in marriage and family concepts worldwide. Historically, this practice was an effective way to manage resources in agricultural societies where land and labor were invaluable assets. However, in the modern context, where individual values, freedom, and equality are emphasized, polygamy has become a controversial subject, requiring careful consideration from multiple perspectives. In this analysis, we will explore how polygamy is practiced in 4 countries, each with its unique characteristics, ranging from cultural and legal differences to social impacts. These stories provide a comprehensive view of a distinctive but complex aspect of human marriage. Top 1. Tajikistan. Polygamy in historical and social contexts. Tajikistan, a country in Central Asia, is known for its long-standing traditional culture heavily influenced by Islam. For centuries, polygamy has been considered an integral part of marital life here. According to Islamic law, men are permitted to marry up to 4 wives, provided they treat them equally in terms of affection and financial support. This regulation reflects not only religious beliefs but also practical solutions within the historical context of this nation. After the collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s, Tajikistan faced significant economic and social challenges. The civil war from 1992 to 1997 caused severe consequences, including a serious gender imbalance. The sharp decline in the male population left many women widowed and unable to find spouses. In this context, polygamy became not only a humanitarian solution to support women, but also a way to restore traditional family structures. Although the modern constitution of Tajikistan does not legally recognize polygamy, in practice, this custom remains widespread in rural areas. Communities often accept and even support men taking multiple wives, as long as they meet financial conditions and have the consent of the first wife. This creates a sensitive balance between tradition and modernity in Tajik society. However, polygamy in Tajikistan has not escaped controversy. Many women's rights activists argue that this practice can lead to gender inequality, leaving women vulnerable and dependent on their husbands. Some critics also suggest that, rather than addressing the root causes of social issues, polygamy perpetuates conservative notions about the role of women in families and society. Nevertheless, given its unique cultural and religious background, polygamy continues to play a significant role in the lives of Tajik people. It represents not only tradition, but also society's efforts to adapt to historical and economic changes. In the future, balancing the preservation of traditional values with ensuring gender equality will be a major challenge for Tajikistan as it seeks to integrate with the modern world. Top 2. South Africa. Polygamy as a symbol of social status. In South Africa, polygamy is not only a part of cultural heritage, but also holds profound significance regarding social status and power. Particularly among the Zulu community, one of the largest ethnic groups in South Africa, having multiple wives has long been seen as a symbol of wealth and authority. Polygamy practices in the Zulu community. The Zulu people have a long history of polygamy, rooted in traditional values that emphasize the role of men in protecting and maintaining the family lineage. A Zulu man's ability to marry multiple wives signifies his abundant resources, sufficient to care for a large family. Having many wives is not only a responsibility, but also evidence of success and respect from the community. Moreover, each wife holds an important role within the family, from raising children to managing household and farming duties. This division of labor allows their large families to operate efficiently and sustainably. South African laws on polygamy. South Africa is one of the few countries in the world where polygamy is legally recognized. The law allows citizens to marry multiple wives under traditional customs, provided they adhere to specific regulations. However, to ensure the rights of the wives, the law requires husbands to sign clear financial agreements before marrying additional wives. Additionally, polygamous marriages must be officially registered to ensure that all family members, including children, receive legal protection. This demonstrates a balance between tradition and modern legal frameworks in South African society. Modern implications of polygamy. Although polygamy remains prevalent in South Africa, societal changes in modern times have significantly impacted this practice. Many women in traditional communities have started demanding equality and a voice in marital decisions. Furthermore, increasing economic pressures have made maintaining a polygamous family more challenging than before. Despite these challenges, polygamy continues to be an integral part of South African culture, especially in traditional ceremonies and community events. It reflects the diversity of family concepts and reaffirms the importance of preserving cultural heritage in a modern social context. Top 3. Iran. The transformation of polygamy over time. Iran, a country with a rich history and culture, is known for its complex social regulations, in which polygamy has been an integral part throughout many historical periods. This tradition originates from Islamic teachings, which allow men to marry up to 4 wives, provided they ensure fairness in emotional, financial, and other responsibilities between them. However, over time, polygamy in Iran has undergone significant transformations under the influence of political, economic, and social changes. Religious roots and legal foundations. Polygamy in Iran is rooted in the principles of Islam, which plays a significant role in the country's legal and social systems. According to Islamic teachings, it is lawful for a man to have multiple wives, provided he maintains justice and equity in affection, financial support, and responsibilities. This reflects the early societal structure of Iran, where men typically held the primary role of ensuring economic stability and family growth. Historical shifts in polygamy practices. During the pre-20th century, polygamy was considered normal and even common among aristocrats and the upper class. However, the 20th century brought changes as Iran experienced waves of modernization. Social reform movements and leaders worked to introduce policies aimed at reducing inequality in marriage. After World War II, increasing attention to women's rights led to legal adjustments regarding marriage and family. The 1979 Islamic Revolution and its impact. The Islamic Revolution in 1979 marked a major turning point for Iran. The newly established Islamic regime maintained the regulations permitting polygamy, but imposed stricter conditions. For instance, taking an additional wife required the written consent of the first wife, and the man had to prove his financial and emotional capability to support multiple families. These rules aim to minimize potential disputes and protect women's rights in polygamous relationships. Challenges and modern realities. In modern Iranian society, while polygamy remains legally permissible, it is far less prevalent than before. Economic factors, such as rising living costs and shifting social attitudes, have led many Iranians to prefer monogamous marriages. Younger generations, in particular, tend to reject polygamy, viewing it as a relic of the past rather than a contemporary norm. Implications for women and families. Polygamy in Iran, despite its legal protection, has sparked numerous debates about women's rights. Many social organizations have voiced opposition to this form of marriage, arguing that it exacerbates gender inequality and undermines women's roles in society. On the other hand, proponents argue that polygamy can provide stability for families in unique circumstances, such as during periods of gender imbalance. Conclusion. The evolution of polygamy in Iran highlights the intersection of tradition and modernity. Although legally allowed, social realities have shifted significantly. The ongoing debates about polygamy in Iran reflect not only religious considerations but also a society grappling with its identity and striving for balance between its historical roots and future aspirations. Top 4. Thailand. The shift from tradition to modern marriage. Thailand, a country known for its rich and diverse culture, has a long history of polygamy. In the past, it was common and even considered a sign of social status and personal success for a man to have multiple wives. Polygamy in Thailand was often practical, with each wife taking on specific roles within the household, such as caring for children or supporting family businesses. Legal changes and modern adaptations. Over time, societal changes led to adjustments in Thailand's legal system concerning polygamy. Since 1935, Thailand has officially adopted monogamy under its marriage law. According to this law, only one wife is legally recognized, and all legal rights regarding property, children, and inheritance belong to this primary wife. Other wives, if any, are not granted legal recognition, though they may exist informally. Despite these legal reforms, the practice of polygamy still persists in certain rural areas and small communities, where it is upheld as part of cultural tradition. However, unlike in the past, these relationships lack official recognition under the law. Men who maintain multiple relationships must do so without legal protection or support from the state. Rights of children and informal relationships. One interesting aspect of modern Thai marriage laws is the recognition of children born from informal relationships. While secondary wives are not granted legal status, their children are entitled to financial and educational support from their fathers. This demonstrates Thailand's efforts to strike a balance between preserving traditional practices and enforcing modern legal frameworks. The role of education and economic development. Thailand's economic development and improved access to education have reshaped public perceptions of marriage. In contemporary Thai society, families tend to prioritize equality in relationships. Women have become increasingly independent, not only financially, but also in making decisions about their personal lives. This shift has significantly reduced the prevalence of polygamous marriages, even in regions where the tradition was once deeply rooted. Conclusion. The transformation from traditional polygamy to modern marriage practices in Thailand serves as a testament to how societies evolve under the influence of legal and cultural changes. While the tradition still exists in some communities, Thailand is moving towards a more equitable society where marriage is based on mutual consent and equality between partners. Conclusion. The diversity of marriage concepts and their impact on modern society. Polygamy, whether permitted or restricted, remains an inseparable part of the cultural and legal framework of the world. From countries like Tajikistan, where it is regarded as a solution to gender imbalances, to South Africa, where the number of wives symbolizes power and social status, each nation offers a unique perspective on how marriage has been shaped over time. The changes in laws and societal views on polygamy, especially in countries like Iran and Thailand, vividly reflect the intersection between tradition and modernity. While some countries preserve this tradition to protect their local culture, others have chosen to adapt it to safeguard women's rights and promote gender equality. More importantly, polygamy raises significant questions about the role of women in modern society. The debates surrounding rights, responsibilities, and the meaning of marriage within these models are gradually shaping global social policies and laws. Accepting or rejecting polygamy is not merely a matter of national preference, but also a global conversation about human rights and the values of marriage. Do you find this video helpful and interesting? Please like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any posts on other fascinating topics. We are always ready to bring you fresh and inspiring perspectives.